If you're a pretty talented football player, like you're all conference or better, but you want to get a hell of a lot bigger and faster, but you don't want to sacrifice your 40-yard dash time and your speed in the process of getting bigger and putting on that size, and this video is for you. I'm going to break down exactly how you can put on the right size without sacrificing your speed. 99% of football players think that just by getting bigger or putting on more weight, that's going to get them better at football, and that's just not how it works. They need to become more explosive, faster, more agile, all those things, right? So they put on all this weight in the offseason and then show up to summer camps or even their next fall season feeling just sluggish and getting dusted by players that didn't put on all this extra weight in the offseason. So if you saw my last video where we were comparing size versus power, then you know that adding speed to an equation like this makes it three-dimensional and making it extremely complex, right? So my goal of this video is to simplify it down so that you know how to actually get faster and put on size at the same time. And if you're new here, my name is Will Strock, and I help football players drop their 40-yard dash so that they can run 4.4s and land scholarship offers. And all of my content here on YouTube and over on Instagram is sharing the lessons that I've learned going through the process, landing multiple scholarship offers, and now helping over 600 football players like you go through the same process to drop their 40-yard dash and go play in college. And I'm passing down the systems that have worked for us so you can get one step closer to a 4.4 and landing some offers. So by the end of this video, you're gonna learn how to get stupid fast while putting on size the right way. So let's get right into it. You probably know that as size increase, then speed actually decreases, right? So it's this negative relationship between size and speed. But our goal of what we wanna do is get into this top right quadrant, right? So whether we're here, we have a lot of size and no speed, we just want to carry it straight across so that we keep our size on and we also increase our speed, right? From here, we want to keep our speed, but we just want to increase our size, right? We're always trying to get to this top right quadrant because we want elite speed and size. But the problem is, how do we get to this top right quadrant? So if you've been paying attention in your physics class, then you would know that force equals mass times acceleration. So how does this relate to this? Right, mass is our size, so we increase that, we increase the force. Acceleration is related to speed, so we increase that. That's how we can double increase our force, right? And more force means that we're putting more force into our opponents, meaning that we're scoring more touchdowns, making more tackles for loss, or making more pancakes if we're an offensive lineman, for example, right? And the hard part is breaking this negative correlation graph, right, and turning it from a negative correlation into a positive correlation. So that's what we're going to break down step by step right now. All right, diving right into it, we're going to look at size first. How can we put on size without sacrificing our speed? So the only thing that matters for weight loss, whether you're trying to put on weight or lose weight, is calories consumed versus calories burned, right? So when you subtract those two numbers, if it's positive, that means you're going to gain weight, okay? If it's zero, meaning that you're just maintaining, right? It just means you're going to be maintaining, neither gaining nor losing weight. If this number is negative, then that means you're going to be losing weight. So we can use these two numbers and we can pull both of these levers so that we either gain weight, maintain, or even lose weight if that's our goal. And right now, the only reason why you're not gaining weight is because you're not consuming enough calories. Right now, you're only eating really when you feel like it or when your mom or dad makes food for you, right? And that just isn't enough calories consumed for you right now to be able to gain weight. Why do you think D1 programs have full dining halls with food whenever the athletes want it? They have pre-practice fueling stations. They got post-workout protein shakes and full nutrition bars, right? It's because they need a lot of calories consumed in order to gain weight. They're burning a lot of calories, and this number has to be greater than this number for them to gain and even maintain their weight. So really foolproof, easy way to calculate how many calories you actually need per day based upon your goals, right? So you're gonna take your body weight. So for example, say you're 200 pounds, you're gonna multiply it by one of these factors along the left here, right? So if you're looking for an extreme weight gain, you're gonna multiply your body weight by a factor of 19 to 21. Obviously, the bigger number you choose, the more calories you're gonna have to shoot for per day, right? And coming down the list here, there's extreme weight gain, normal weight gain, maintenance, weight loss, and extreme weight loss. Typically, you probably wanna avoid something like that, right? Most of you guys looking to bulk up a little bit. So I'd be choosing a number somewhere right here. So let's take some examples here. Say I'm a 200-pound player and I want to put on a whole bunch of weight this off season, right? Let's take 200 times 20. What does that come out to? 4,000 calories per day. Really simple, right? So that'd be in a case of extreme weight gain. Another example here, let's say I just want to maintain, right, but be on a little bit on the higher side of maintaining, right? I'd multiply my body weight by, say, 15 here. So 200 times 15, what does that equal? 3,000 calories per day. Go ahead and pull out your calculators if you don't believe me. But that's how we can get a base estimate, really simple way of how many calories we need to be eating per day based upon our goals. And really the beauty of this is that you can adjust it 2 or 4 weeks into trying a new number. So say you choose 16, right? But you're not gaining as much weight as you'd like to see. Then the next week you just multiply your body weight by 17 and then start eating that number of calories, right? You're able to shift it back and forth on however fast or however how slow you want to progress towards your goal body weight. So now if you're thinking, okay, cool, I can keep working out like I am and all I got to do is eat ice cream for every meal to be able to hit that calorie goal. Well, not quite, but I'm going to show you how you can eat as much ice cream as you want as long as you hit this one number in your diet. You probably guessed it, that one number is protein, right? So another foolproof way to get your protein in and just tracking it wise, taking your body weight in pounds, multiply by 1 gram, that's how many grams of protein you need every day in your diet to not sacrifice your speed, right? So in that example we did earlier, 200 pounds times 1 gram, I need 200 grams of protein every day to be able to hit my goal, right? 200 grams. For reference, about 1 pound of lean meat is about 100 grams of protein. So that'd be, if I ate nothing else, only meat, that'd be about 2 pounds of lean meat per day. And then you could, in theory, backfill the rest of your diet with cake, cookies, ice cream, whatever you wanted. The only caveat to that is you're probably not gonna feel the best for your workouts or just day-to-day in general. You're probably gonna feel like shit. Okay, so putting it all together now for a complete diet plan, with that example I gave you earlier, let's say I needed 3,000 calories per day for my goal and I needed 200 grams of protein per day, right? Now, best way to track this and best way to actually hit it is to track it with an app like MyFitnessPal. You can try just to, keep it in your head or aim for this amount of food per day, but honestly, not the best way to do it. If you actually track it every day for a couple weeks, couple months on end, there's literally no way you don't hit your weight goal and your training goals as long as you're training the right way. So what does training the right way actually look like and how can you do it? All right, it doesn't matter how much calories or how much protein you eat in a day. If you're not training like an athlete and doing these 3 things, then it literally doesn't matter. You're not going to get faster and you're just going to turn into a fat loaf. All right, so first thing, these 3 steps with speed is what we do with our athletes and it works exceptionally well. First, identify weaknesses and mistakes in their technique, right? I'm not just talking about their squat form, but I'm talking about their mechanics and their technique in their sprints, in their agility work, right? In their stance, in their first step, in their acceleration and drive phase, and then in their top end speed. There's many techniques that athletes struggle with, and it's about fixing their stride efficiency and all the different other little things that go into a full sprint so that you can actually lock in and perfect your mechanics. And I can give you all the sauce in the world on what common mistakes in technique actually are and the drills to improve them, but the reality is if you don't have a coach watching you, putting your reps in slow motion and breaking down with you what you need to do to improve, then it doesn't matter. You're just gonna keep on making the same mistakes over and over again. That's the biggest problem with in-person training and why I switched our operation from mostly in-person now to mostly online, because the ones who are the hardest workers and actually the most talented are getting held back by everyone else in their group, right? The talented ones can't progress at their own pace, and your coach can't pause time to come talk to you for 10 minutes, ignore all the other athletes, pause it in real time, take you through exactly what you need to do, right? And with an online model, we're able to do that. But to be real, that is the biggest difference between online one-on-one training and group training in person, and anyone who tells you different hasn't done it at the scale that I've done it, both in person and online. So that leads me into our next point here a little bit. Once you know what your mistakes and your weaknesses actually are, you need prescribed drills to attack them, right? So first you have to figure out that your start sucks, and then you have to do things to improve your start, right? So that might mean some resisted starts, that might mean kneeling starts. If it's your acceleration, we might get you on the wall for a wall drill. If it's your top end speed, it might be like a flying 20 or a 20-15-10 drill. But each phase of a sprint correlates to different drills, and we're able to attack your weaknesses in each phase with these different drills and methods. And I've obviously done both with the in-person group training and online, and I can tell you, right, that when you're in a group training system and the program isn't personalized for you, so it's not attacking your weaknesses, right? So you might be in the same program with 10 different kids. All 10 of you have 10 different weaknesses, but you're all doing the same program, right? So you're getting a little tidbit. You might do a little bit of start work. You might be doing a little bit of top end speed work, but honestly, you need to attack one thing at each time, and then you're able to go from there. And to be honest, at the end of the day, if you're doing anything except attacking your weaknesses just so you can be in an in-person group session, then you're literally wasting your effort and energy doing things that aren't actually moving the needle for you in your training journey. Okay, third and final step here, and honestly one of the most important ones, is once you start doing these drills, you're gonna start to see some results, right? You're gonna be able to drop a 1/10 or 2/10 off your time in relatively quickly, like a month or 3 or 4 weeks, right? So that next step, so you can continue to climb that ladder, is progressing your exercises and altering your program so you can avoid the dreaded speed plateau, right? It's probably happened to you before. You've got a lot of gains really quickly, whether it was in a squat, 40-yard dash, broad jump, whatever it might be. You make those improvements really quickly, and then you level off for a couple months and you're unable to break that plateau. And I've had loads of kids message me in the DM saying, hey, your free stuff is totally awesome. I was able to drop, 0.16 off my 40 in the first 4 weeks of just doing your free stuff, which is like totally cool. But then they say, yeah, but after the first month, then I was stuck at the same 40 time for the next 2 months, and I wasn't sure what I have to do. And they were in a speed plateau, right? They were taking stuff off the internet, just plug and play, trying to figure out what would work for them. And obviously when you do that, you can see some results, but you're gonna be stuck at a speed plateau at some point or another. And honestly, if your training isn't set up the right way, even in the first 4 weeks of a program, then you can make a plateau that can last, 3 to 4 months after, and it doesn't matter what you do. It's just because that first training block, you did all these different things instead of setting up for long-term success. And really there's 3 main reasons why these kids have the problems of, a lot of progress super quickly and then leveling off. And it's because they don't know how to progress their workouts. They don't know how to test and adjust continually to account for these things, and they don't know how to use super composition to their advantage in their training. So this is something I've been doing for a while with a lot of different athletes, and when you're able to combine the diet strategy that we just went through with this training strategy, that's when kids can go from a 4'9" and 180 pounds up to 195 pounds and running a 4.65 just in one off season. Now you know what to do, but if you want my one-on-one help to implement what we just went over into your schedule, you can book a Zoom call with me in the description below, and me, you, and your parents will talk through your situation. And if I'm 100% confident that I can help you, then I'll build out some higher level training strategy to walk you through this 3-step process. If you have any questions, shoot me a message over at my Instagram at athletesu_, and I'll be in touch. And while you're there, check out the rest of my content because all I post about is running 4.4s and playing college football. Speed kills.